Be me, Sarah, HR Director at Morrison & Blake Consulting. Look, I know how this is going to sound. I know what you're thinking already. But you weren't there. You didn't see what I saw. Didn't feel what these women were going through. 3 months before everything went to shit, I implemented a new policy. Workplace Safety Protocol, I called it. Simple idea. If someone reports harassment or feeling unsafe, we act immediately. Suspend first, investigate during, questions later. The old guard partners hated it. Too aggressive, they said. What about due process? I told them it was about liability protection. But really? I was tired of watching talented women quit because HR needed a mountain of evidence before taking them seriously. I genuinely thought I was doing the right thing. I'm not sure anymore. Annual promotion cycle. 2 senior consultant spots open. 3 people competing. Jason Torres, guy, been here 2 years. Kayla Morrison, woman, 3 years. And David, another guy, 4 years. Partners picked Jason and David. I was in the room when they announced it. They had their reasons. Jason's client scores were highest. David brought in 2 major accounts. All very logical, very metrics-based. But I kept thinking, Kayla's been here longer than Jason. Her numbers are good, not spectacular, but solid. And she's never gotten the high-profile projects he has. Classic catch-22. Can't get promoted without big projects. Can't get big projects without being senior. I didn't say anything in the meeting, but afterward, I sent Kayla an email asking her to stop by my office. I told myself I was just being supportive, checking in on her. But honestly, part of me wanted her to push back, to fight. I think I was looking for a reason to prove the system was broken. I found one. Kayla showed up at 3:15. Her eyes were red. She'd been crying. She dropped into the chair. I knew it. I fucking knew they'd pick the guys. I closed the door, sat across from her. Kayla, I advocated for you in that room. But the partners control final decisions. Jason takes credit for my work. In client meetings, he talks over me. I do the analysis. He presents it. He gets all the glory. I started taking notes. Have you documented any of this? She shook her head. I didn't want to seem difficult. You know how it is. Women who complain get labeled as not being team players. God, I did know. I'd lived it. Kayla, if Jason's creating problems for you, even subtle things, you need to tell me. The new policy I put in place protects you now. Something shifted in her expression. Different how? If he's making you uncomfortable in any way, we take that seriously. Immediately. You don't need witnesses or recordings or a paper trail. You just need to tell me what happened. She was quiet for a long moment, processing. Has he done things that made you uncomfortable? Long pause. She wiped her eyes. There have been some things. I wasn't sure if I was overreacting. My heart rate picked up. You're probably not. Women are conditioned to second-guess ourselves. What kind of things? Just the way he talks to me sometimes. Like I'm stupid. He'll question my analysis in front of clients, make me look incompetent. And there's this energy, you know? Like he's trying to intimidate me. That's textbook hostile work environment. I leaned back. Here's the thing. Intent doesn't matter as much as impact. If his behavior is affecting your work, your confidence, your sense of safety, that's enough. She was looking at me differently now, like she'd just realized something. What would happen if I filed something official? We'd investigate immediately, and depending on what we found, there could be serious consequences for him. Like what, exactly? Suspension while we investigate, mandatory training, termination if warranted. Her eyes widened. You'd actually fire him? If he's harassing a colleague? Absolutely. I don't want to ruin his career, she said quietly. Kayla. I leaned forward. You filing a legitimate complaint wouldn't ruin anyone's career. Him choosing to behave inappropriately would ruin his own career. There's a difference. She nodded slowly, stood to leave. At the door, she paused. Sarah, thank you for actually giving a shit. After she left, I sat there feeling good about myself. Validated. This was exactly why I'd created the policy, to protect women like her. Looking back, I realized she'd played me perfectly. But at the time, I just felt like I was finally doing something right. 1 week later, new project assignments were announced. Major client engagement, Fortune 500 restructuring, 6 months, huge visibility. Team lead, Marcus Wright. Team members, Jason Torres, Kayla Morrison, +2. Junior analysts, multiple business trips to Chicago planned. I watched Kayla's face during the announcement. She looked trapped. That afternoon, she was back in my office. I need to file a formal complaint. About Jason. Before this trip happens. I opened a new case file. Tell me everything. 3 weeks later, my desk phone rang. Tuesday morning, 9:47. Kayla's voice shaking. Sarah, I need to talk to you. In person. Right now? Something happened in Chicago. She was in my office within 5 minutes. Mascara streaked down her face, hands trembling. What happened? I closed the door. The story came out in pieces. They'd done the first business trip. Team of 5, 3 days in Chicago meeting with the client. Second night, team dinner with the client present. Around 9 o'clock, Jason had leaned over and made some comment about her dress being distracting. She asked what he meant. He just smiled and said, "You know, I was writing everything down. Who else heard this?" "I don't think anyone." The table was loud. "Okay, what else?" Her voice dropped. Later that night, around 10:15, I was coming back from the hotel bar. I got in the elevator to go to my room. Jason got in right after me. She started crying harder. We were alone. He didn't say anything, just stood really close to me. I could feel him looking at me. When I got off on my floor, he said, "Have a good night, Kayla," in this tone. I locked my door and didn't leave my room the rest of the night. "Did he follow you to your floor?" "I don't know. I just went straight to my room." "Any other contact that night?" "Yeah." She pulled out her phone, showed me a text. Around 11, he texted me asking for client data. But it was 11 at night, Sarah. It felt like he was testing whether I'd respond to him late. I looked at the message. It just said, "Can you send me the updated client data by tomorrow morning? Need it for the presentation." Just a work request. But the timing, that's what made it feel off. The next day during the client presentation, he completely undermined me, questioned my methodology right in front of the client, made me look incompetent. I think he was punishing me. I closed my notepad. "Kayla, this is a clear pattern. Sexual harassment and retaliation. You did exactly the right thing coming to me. What happens now? I'm activating the protocol. Jason will be suspended today, and depending on what the investigation finds, he probably won't work here at all." She looked relieved and terrified. "Will he know it was me?" "He'll know someone filed a complaint. I won't confirm your identity unless legally required." She actually hugged me. "Thank you for believing me." I felt like a hero. I called Jason in at 2 o'clock. He showed up looking confused. "Jason, sit down. A formal complaint has been filed about your conduct during the Chicago trip." I watched the color drain from his face. "What? What complaint?" "Allegations of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. I'm placing you on administrative leave, effective immediately." "Sarah, I don't even know what you're talking about." "Who complained? What did I supposedly do?" "I can't disclose that information." "How am I supposed to defend myself if you won't tell me what I did?" "You'll have the opportunity to submit a written statement. Right now, my priority is complainant safety." He stood up, started pacing. "This is insane. I was professional the entire trip." "Jason, I need you to stay calm." "Calm?" His voice cracked. "You're destroying my career and won't even tell me why." "My wife is 8 months pregnant. I can't just..." He was shaking. "My wife is 8 months pregnant. We just bought a house. Our families are flying in for the baby shower this weekend. Sarah, please, I have the Uber receipts. I left dinners early every night. Just look at them before you do this. Jason, receipts can be doctored. Doctored? He looked like I'd slapped him. Check the hotel security footage. I wasn't in that elevator. The investigation will review all evidence. After you've already decided, everyone's going to think I'm a predator. My career is over right now, and I don't even know what I'm being accused of. For a second, just a second, I almost told him to send me the receipts. Then I thought, this is what they do. They overwhelm you with details, create doubt, make you second-guess the victim. Security is waiting to escort you out, Jason. He stared at me. You're not even going to hear my side? I'll review your written statement when you submit it. He left. The door closed. I sat there telling myself I'd done the right thing, but my hands were shaking a little. I pushed the feeling away. The investigation took a week. I interviewed Kayla. Again, story stayed consistent. Talked to Marcus and the other team members. Nobody saw anything inappropriate. Jason sent a 10-page statement. Timeline of the whole trip, Uber receipts attached, explanations for everything. He sounded desperate. I read it thinking, of course he has answers. They always have answers. I wrote my recommendation, termination. Partners reviewed my report. They looked uncomfortable, but didn't fight me. Legal negotiated with Jason's lawyer for 3 days. Final deal, Jason resigns voluntarily with severance and an NDA, or gets fired for cause with nothing. He took the resignation. 2 weeks after Kayla's complaint, Jason's career at Morrison and Blake was over. I told Kayla privately. She cried and hugged me again. I felt good. I'd protected her. 4 days after Jason left, Marcus asked for a meeting, showed up with Tom and Kevin. Sarah, we need to talk about what happened to Jason. I immediately went defensive. I can't discuss confidential HR matters. Marcus nodded. We're not asking you to, but we're concerned about process. Jason was suspended within hours, forced out within 2 weeks. When someone's safety is at risk, we move quickly. Tom spoke up. We understand, but none of us saw anything inappropriate on that trip. Absence of witnesses doesn't mean absence of wrongdoing, I said. Kevin. But it means absence of evidence. You suspended him before investigating. That could happen to any of us. If any of you are harassing colleagues, then yes, I snapped. The room went quiet. Marcus tried again. We're asking for due process, evidence, investigation before punishment. We did investigate. You talked to people who saw nothing, then ignored everything Jason said. One person's word with zero corroboration. That's not investigation. That's a verdict. I stood up. I think we're done here. They left. I sat there shaking with anger. This was the problem. Men protecting men. The old boys club resisting change. But I could see what was happening. They were organizing something. Over the next 2 weeks, things started feeling off. I'd see David walk past Kayla's desk, then watch him send her a Slack message from his office. Tom kept his door open during one-on-ones now. Kevin responded to a simple hallway question with, "Can you email me that?" Then Jessica came to me. Tom cancelled all our in-person mentoring sessions. Says we should do them over Zoom now. We sit 50 feet apart. Women kept coming with similar stories. The men were avoiding them. I sent out a company-wide email about maintaining our collaborative culture. The behavior continued. Then Jessica filed a complaint about Tom. Said his tone was condescending during their last session when he pointed out mistakes in her model. Said he sat too close. When I called Tom in, he was calm. Too calm. I figured she might complain. He slid a folder across my desk. Email chain with timestamps. Her model with tracked changes, his written feedback, all professional. After Jason, I document everything now, he said simply. The realization hit me. They were building cases before accusations happened. This feels like retaliation, Tom. This feels like self-preservation, Sarah. Marcus had spent 2 weeks after Jason was fired actually investigating. Hotel security footage, receipts, witness statements. He knew something was wrong. He talked to a lawyer and gathered the other men. The system Sarah built doesn't care about evidence, he told them. It cares about accusations. By Monday, 15 men had committed to his plan. Monday morning, I got a meeting invite. Male consultants, HR policy discussion. 15 guys filed into the conference room. Marcus stood at the front. Sarah, we wanted to inform you that we're implementing a new protocol, effective immediately. My stomach dropped. We're calling it the buddy system. From now on, any meeting with a female colleague includes a third-party witness. Business travel with women includes a male colleague, or we respectfully decline the assignment. All feedback will be documented in writing. You can't be serious. We've also implemented a recording protocol, Kevin added. All meetings will be recorded. Calendar invites will state this clearly. That hit me. The auto-recording system I'd fought for, they were using it as a shield. The partners won't allow this. We've already informed them, Marcus said. They didn't object. That hurt worse than anything. You're creating a hostile environment for women. We're protecting ourselves in an environment where accusations end careers without evidence, Tom said quietly. I was shaking. I'll fight this. That's your right, Marcus said. But we're implementing it regardless. They filed out. I sat alone, furious and helpless, and realized I'd lost control completely. The next week, the office transformed. Men had their phones out during any conversation with women. Calendar invites now included, this meeting will be recorded. Project kickoffs felt like depositions. Brainstorming sessions died. Nobody wanted spontaneous ideas on record. The creative energy that made us successful was suffocating under surveillance that worked both ways. Women kept coming to me. I can't work like this. I feel like I'm being surveilled, but I couldn't ban it. It was legal, and the partners wouldn't back me up. I'd created a system where men felt they had to record everything just to protect themselves, and there was nothing I could do about it. Then Marcus sent me a meeting request. Urgent. Please review. He arrived with Tom and Kevin. All three had phones out, recording lights visible. This was captured by the conference room auto-recording system. Room B. Last week. He played audio. Female voices. I recognized them. Ashley and 2 other junior consultants. Ashley. Okay, but Ryan's kinda hot though, right? Like I'd definitely hook up with him. Another woman laughing. Girl, I hooked up with him at the holiday party last year. Biggest disappointment. Wait, what? I'm talking like tiny, like embarrassingly small. Does he know everyone knows? I might have mentioned it to a few people. All 3 of them laughing. Marcus stopped the playback. Your recording system caught this, the one you installed to protect women. Instead, it documented women sexually harassing a male colleague. If Ryan said this about a woman, discussed her body, her sexual performance, mocked her to colleagues, what would happen? I couldn't answer, because I knew he'd be fired that day. But when women do it, Marcus asked. I had no response. I called an emergency all-staff meeting for Thursday. I was going to shut this down, but when I walked into the conference room, Marcus was already there. Laptop open, connected to the projector. Sarah, before you start, I need to show everyone something about Jason. My heart stopped. Marcus, that's confidential. Jason can't talk. He signed an NDA, but I was on that trip, and I have evidence. The room went silent. I wanted to stop him, but the partners were there, and I had no grounds to shut down a presentation in a meeting I'd called. Marcus opened his presentation. 3 weeks ago, Jason Torres was forced to resign after harassment allegations from the Chicago trip. I was the team lead. I want to share what actually happened. First slide, photo of our team dinner. Timestamp, 7:47 p.m. The complaint said Jason made an inappropriate comment at dinner around 9 o'clock. Next slide, Jason walking out of the restaurant. Timestamp, 8:23 p.m. My stomach started to sink. I felt something crack inside me. For just a second, I saw it clearly. Jason was innocent. I'd destroyed an innocent man's life because I wanted so badly to be right. Then the feeling passed. I couldn't afford to be wrong about this. Jason left at 8:20. Here's his Uber receipt. The receipt appeared. Pick up, 8:23 p.m. Drop off at hotel, 8:34 p.m. He wasn't there at 9. He'd already left. I heard murmuring, felt people starting to look at me. He did this every night. 3 more receipts appeared, all showing early departures. Marcus looked directly at me. Sarah, did you check these receipts during your investigation? I couldn't answer, because I hadn't. Jason had mentioned them. I dismissed it as him trying to create doubt. Next slide. Security footage screenshot. Hotel elevator. Timestamp, 10:15 p.m. Someone entering alone. The complaint described an uncomfortable elevator encounter around 10:15. This is the actual security footage. Another slide. Hotel keycard access log. Jason's keycard shows he entered his room at 9:47 p.m., didn't leave until 6:30 a.m. He wasn't in that elevator. The room was completely silent. I could feel everyone staring. Next slide, screenshot of a text message. The inappropriate late-night text. The message appeared, "Can you send me the updated client data by tomorrow morning? Need it for the presentation." Marcus just let it sit there. Let everyone read it. That's it. A work request. Sarah, when you reviewed this, did it seem inappropriate? My throat was tight. I had reviewed it. I'd thought the timing was suggestive, but seeing it now, on the big screen? Next slide, handwritten notes. The complaint said Jason undermined the complainant in front of the client. I was in that meeting. These are my notes. Jason questioned revenue projections that didn't account for seasonal variance. He was right. The model had an error. Marcus closed his laptop. The room stayed silent. Sarah, you ended a man's career in 2 weeks. You never checked a receipt, never reviewed security footage, never asked me what actually happened. He paused. You just believed, and that was enough. I tried to find words. Nothing came out. Tom stood. Did Jason ever get to see this evidence? The investigation focused on the complainant's account. The investigation focused on confirming what you'd already decided, Kevin said. I stood up. My hands were shaking. This is a coordinated attack. Marcus closed his laptop, calm. It's evidence. Evidence you spent weeks compiling to create a narrative. We compiled receipts and security footage, Tom said. How do you create a narrative out of hotel security systems? I don't know, but this is awfully convenient, right when men are being held accountable. Sarah, these are time-stamped receipts, Kevin said. You can verify everyone. I don't need to verify them, I was shouting now. I know what I saw in my office. Kayla was traumatized. She was crying, shaking. And Jason was telling the truth, Marcus said quietly. But you didn't care. Because I've heard men lie 1,000 times. I've watched women get destroyed because HR demanded evidence that's impossible to provide. I fixed that broken system. You didn't fix it, Marcus said. You just changed who gets destroyed without evidence. Something in me snapped. Good. The word came out like an explosion. Men have had power for centuries. If a few innocent ones get caught in the crossfire while we fix systemic inequality, that's the price of progress. I heard gasps, realized what I'd just said out loud. Amanda stood up, tried to put a hand on my arm. Sarah. I spun toward her. And where were you? Where were all of you women when I needed backing? Sarah, that's enough. Michael was standing. You're on administrative leave effective immediately. We'll meet tomorrow at 8. You're suspending me? My voice was hysterical. For what? For the same reason you suspended Jason, Marcus said quietly. Except we have evidence. I grabbed my laptop. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. This isn't over. I left, slammed the door. Behind me, I could hear explosive conversation starting. I made it to my office, locked the door, collapsed into my chair. My phone was already buzzing. Meeting tomorrow, 8 a.m. I was being fired. I knew it, but I couldn't let them win. I opened my laptop and started researching. Found exactly what I needed. Women's Workplace Coalition, activist organization that runs campaigns against companies with hostile work environments. I started drafting an email, attaching documentation, the buddy system memo, recording policies, women's complaints. Before I sent it, I pulled up Marcus's profile. He was the ringleader. Then I saw something better. Email from Hartman Industries, our biggest client, $12 million contract. Sarah, we've heard rumors about workplace conflicts. We have strict DEI compliance requirements. We need to understand what's happening. I closed the activist email, opened a new one to Hartman's Chief Diversity Officer, Jennifer. We'd met at a conference. This was better. Way better. Business pressure. That's what forces change. I started typing, attaching everything, highlighting Marcus specifically. Not calling him a harasser, too obvious. But a problematic influence creating barriers to women's advancement. Reputational risk. Hartman would pressure the firm. Partners would panic about losing their biggest client. And Marcus? Even if he kept his job, I'd make him toxic. Every client I'd whisper concerns. Every project I'd plant seeds of doubt. His career wouldn't end overnight. It would just slowly suffocate. I hit send to Jennifer, then sent the activist email too. Both angles. I leaned back, wiping my tears. They thought they destroyed me today. They have no idea what's coming.